Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Idify and you are welcome to our show. Today we will be discussing about role models and the impact of role model on us. And we have Sitesh Srivastava, who has a deep interest in corporate training. He had been teaching marketing professional and he has a vast experience of working in IT, marketing, sales across the continent. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kanchan. This is great to talk to you and on the really interesting and inspiring subjects every day. I'm very, very well. Great day ahead. And how about you?
Yeah, we are fine. Everybody and family and friend circle, they are all good. So today we are discussing about role model. As you know, uh, there's a lot of news is going on about film star. We generally in Indian crowd we consider them as one of the role models for us. But now, for many of those film stars are in a deep struggle because there's drug abuse. Charges are being levied on them. So, though we as a human race need a role model to really ignite ourselves, our ideas sometimes. So, what is the importance of a role model in current scenario?
Kanchan, we all grow up by seeing our parents. And knowingly, unknowingly, we make them our role models. Most of the time as children, we don't know what is the meaning of a role model, but we try to emulate our parents. But as we grow up in life and we get into our normal schooling and thereafter, we need realize that there are role models beyond our parents, beyond our siblings and families and elders.
Very well, a good point you have put forward, because for many years, all of us really consider our parents more a role model. Yes,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So as we start knowing our own personality, we able to test waters of our own personality against this so-called ruthless world out there. We need to develop our own mechanisms of standing up in this world for something. And to stand up for something, we need a role model. So therefore, as a children, as a child, as a growing up kid or a teenager, we all have our role models. Now, we believe that there is no science behind a role model stuff, and therefore we need to bring the role models for a purpose, not because of just an entertainment value, but probably because of the role that we define for ourselves and we see that we are emulating them. So for if you ask me, Kanchan, I would tell you that my role model, in fact, I would rather say, rather than role model, I'm a fanboy, is none other than Charlie Chaplin. And I have learned so much from his life, and I could really connect with his life, his growing up,
Right.
his trials, his tribulations,
Mhm.
and struggle, and conveying through the silent medium, conveying through the silent medium the laughter and the smiles during another depression area of World War II. Between World War I and World War II, the whole planet was under Great Depression. And here was an artist who did not say a word, but brought millions of people with his smiles. And I'm sure you have also watched some of Charlie Chaplin's movies, isn't it?
Yes, actually, we had when we were studying in school, so we have time being given by parents that after completing your homework, you can watch Charlie Chaplin for half an hour. So definitely all these interesting personality have had a great impact on our growing years. So definitely. But then today, in today's era, then there's a lot of exposure to children, and sometimes they become confused whom to follow. Are they following a right person, a right role model in their growing years? So, what is the definition of a role model, and what type of a role model one should follow?
So, Kanchan, now I realize that one is we cannot stop the onslaught of media on our in our homes anymore. The media has reached not only our drawing room, it has reached our bedrooms now. It is in our hands. Mobile phone has become a part of our body.
Right.
So the onslaught of media cannot be stopped, but channelization of the right kind of media, or the kind of media where we want our children and ourselves to go, is something that we can consciously plan it and do it,
Yes.
especially for our children.
Yes.
So we cannot stop the onslaught of media. They will like what they like. But there is a time where we can plan it out in a creative way, in interesting stories way, in talking about those things and which are not cool probably in today's children's lingo. We can bring those role models and talk about them and try to turn the tide from this to that. I don't I don't say following up the movie stars is the only role models that we have,
Exactly.
but they are the easiest ones.
Mhm.
The easiest ones.
Mhm.
But as you started the conversation by saying that some of those role models are going through their own challenge in their personal and professional lives,
Right.
and therefore it is a need, at least in our Indian society, we need to bring up more role models than just the entertainment participants of it. I mean, today, if we ask our youngsters about our five scientists, it would be very hard for them. I have my experiences of asking about the role models in South African students while I was hiring from the universities.
Right.
And I was surprised to know many of the students don't know the scientists, the doctors, the researchers. Probably everybody knows a rapper, everybody knows a musician,
Right.
right? So yes, onslaught of media cannot be stopped, but as parents, as mentors, as tutors, we can channelize and try to make and bring that kind of role models into the pictures of our loved ones.
Yes, actually, I think from very beginning, I think that should be a conscious effort by teachers and, of course, by parents, that their children can associate with the right kind of role model. Because I think in this part of education is not being done, or it's not consciously being taught in school, though it is not, this is not a subject which can be taught, I think. But what I feel is that you can always channelize, you can always tell the what are the quality of role model, like anybody who's confident, anybody who can accept his mistakes and improve them, so that person should be your role model. And not like when you see a jazzy personality, or a person on the screen, or maybe a few children see Spider-Man or Batman, and they make these characters as their role model. So I think there has to be counseling should be done, so that they can find out a real uh, role model. And when I think if it is done, then people will remember scientists, uh, astronaut, and I think they will make them as a role model. What is your opinion?
Kanchan, you could not be more right in telling this, and I realized that I would probably need to ask this question in my home to my children about the role model. And I'm supposed to be surprised, in fact, sometimes get irritated as well. But that is the new generation. But at the same time, it is a responsibility of a parent and a teacher in the schools to talk about this on a continuous basis, because probably one that is a role model today may not be a role model tomorrow because of so many different reasons that let's not talk about them. for our, so it is important for us to understand that the role model helps create the basic understanding of who I am as a personality, who I want to become as a personality. And that is where the role model helps, because the planet is full of different types of people.
Right.
We live in collaboration age. We need to collaborate with some people whom we may not like, or probably they don't like us. But it is the age of collaboration. And best way is to basically talk it out, understand the gestures, understand the language that they use, the subtle gestures that they make. The eye contact has become more important in the days of mask, Kanchan. We are only eyes are seen nowadays. So it is important that role model helps us sail through especially in the pandemic times. Our role models help through, because we can imagine if my role model would have been here, what would he have been doing, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So that means we can guide our children to really select their role model. Do we have these kind of options?
Kanchan, we can definitely do it. The only thing is that I find is that as parents, probably we are not as creative as our own children. Our children are more creative than us because they live in different times. So if we want to even, hard sell a mythological character from our textbooks, probably we will have to wrap it around a Batman or a Superman to talk about it. So, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, when I visited ISKCON temple in Bangalore a couple of years back, and they were trying to build up a studio with special effects about the Krishna's story, where Krishna is being shown as a Superman kind of. So probably in today's children would love to connect it in that way. Yesterday, I was talking to my son. He was telling me so much about Greek mythology, Greek gods. And I was really taken aback, and I was thinking, I mean, how come our children and all over the half of the world that I travel, people know about Greek gods? Because the cultures, people took them and they molded them, they wrapped them around the local stories. So probably we need to be really creative with our children. Teachers need to be really creative with the students, and whichever role model they want to push forward, they need to present it in today's flavors.
Yes,
right?
very rightly put forward the idea, because I think if you want to really convey our feelings regarding a role model, and because role model plays a vital role in the personality development of a child, and so I think we should come at the level of our children and find out what they like, and accordingly we can suggest a role model. At least this we can do.
But what about your role model, Kanchan?
My role model, actually, to be frank, it used to be William Shatner from Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
So, but then I think that had an impact on me, because I still like stories of space and stars, and I like to read about how space, new things is going on in the research area. So I enjoy doing that. So I think
Great.
a little impact was there of that particular series. so,
Wow.
yeah. So, I just want to conclude is that if we want to give a role model, I think we can help our children in finding their role model. They can have multiple role models. They can have the childish role model like uh, Spider-Man or a Batman or somebody, or Pikachu maybe, because my son is gaga on Pikachu. But along with that, we should also have a role model, a serious role model where children can read, maybe not now, maybe after a year or something, they can recall that this is a person, which is a good person. So I can, somewhere we can help, isn't it?
Yes, of course. And I think more than that, role model is somebody who can guide and help everybody on a diff path. And therefore, there may be multiple role models in different areas. There could be multiple models. And therefore, we can become fanboy or a fangirl of one or two, but there can be multiple role models. And we must do conscious effort, creative effort to ignite this. Let's do it, Kanchan.
Yes,
Let's do it.
let's do it. It was so wonderful talk to you, Sitesh, and we'll be discussing more about personality development in our coming series. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.